Welcome back, Ducks and Kings fans, to episode 8 of Royally Quacked, the podcast where we dive into everything related to the Anaheim Ducks and the Los Angeles Kings, Southern California's two NHL clubs. I'm your host, Cody Spink, and I'm thrilled to be joined by my fellow host,
Gary Spink. In today's episode, we will recap the latest games, dissect the standings, preview upcoming matches, keep you informed on league news, and whether you bleed orange for the Ducks, or rock silver and black for the Kings, or cheer for both, this is the podcast for you. So grab your favorite jersey, settle in, and here we go.
Love it.
Yeah, my favorite part.
I think there's only one thing I need to change on that intro is not the orange. It should be the eggplant and jade. I'm going to change that for next week. I feel like that'd be... I mean, you got the silver and black. Why not have the eggplant and jade for us Ducks fans?
Yeah.
So
I'm good with that. I like that jersey.
Hell yeah. All right, guys. So last week we had technical issues with the trivia question, so we just skipped to this week. So, Dad.
Yes, sir.
How many numbers and who have the retired numbers for the LA Kings?
Okay, so
how many?
Okay.
Who are they?
We're going to go how many at the end. Okay? So I can play them out in my head. Is that fair enough?
I'm good with that.
Okay. I mean, the ones I know for sure. Let's see here. Number 4, Rob Blake, our general manager.
That's one.
Okay. Number 16, part of the Triple Crown line, Marcel Dion.
2 for 2.
And then he got a statue outside of Staples Center. Notice I didn't say crypto.com.
There you go. You're learning.
Well, I take it back. We'll go back to him in a second. I just forgot somebody. And I think he was a general manager at one time for the Kings, too. And he was part of the Triple Crown line. Dave Taylor.
3 for 3. Yeah. And obviously, I know who you're going to say for the next one because you said the statue.
Well, no, I'm going to go with my favorite king of all time. President of the Kings. All you Kings fans, do this with me. Luke Robitaille. Number 20. Now the statue boy.
Now the statue.
You know, the guy who was captain, 2 Stanley Cup champions, number 23, Dustin Brown.
5 for 5.
And when Quickie retires, he'll be the greatest King goalie of ever.
Yeah.
Well, right now he's still the greatest goalie of ever, even though he plays for the Rangers. Before him, it was number 30, Rogie Vachon.
Yep. We got one more?
Yeah. You know, this guy, hardest one to figure out. The one who actually made Southern California a hockey state. I mean, the Ducks aren't the Ducks without this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. The greatest, obviously... I can't imagine someone beating his record. Wayne Gretzky, number 99, the great one.
Well, I would say no one's probably going to beat his points record, but someone could beat his goals record. He's not that far away now.
Yeah, well, that's okay. He won't come close to all those points.
Oh, no, I don't think anyone will.
I think Gretzky, even with assists, beats just about everybody else, or it's pretty dang close.
No, if you take away all his goals, he still leads.
Didn't we do this in a prior broadcast? He beat Jágr by like 13. He has 13 more assists than Jágr had points.
Yeah.
I think if I remember that right. Don't quote me on that one.
Oh, I'm quoting you. Bam,
Go back
quoted.
and listen to the podcast we told you then. Okay.
Yeah.
We're challenging you, if you haven't listened to all of them, to go back and listen to that one. Whichever one that was, I don't remember.
Yeah, so, all right, guys, this week we're going to do our scores of the week a little different. We're each going to do one game that we each our teams played against Calgary, and then we're both going to talk about both the Freeway Faceoff matchups for the week together. So hopefully you might hear some. To be honest, you'll probably hear more fighting on this podcast about it than I saw in the game last night, because there was not. I don't think there was one fight last night, which is.
Just remember this, Cody.
All right, but
it still scares him, even though it's been probably 30 years since I've done that to you. No, probably. Not 30, 20 years.
Yeah.
I used to grab his ear when he was being bad, and I didn't want anybody to notice, and I'd pinch it.
Yeah,
and he would stop. He knew it. The minute I would do with my fingers, just rub them together, he knew, I better shut up or Dad's going to get me.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about the LA Kings versus the Calgary game.
I don't remember what I predicted on this one.
You predicted a 5-3 win. You just in your notes you didn't update the score.
Okay, so
I'll look it up for you.
Obviously, we had 4 goals. I can see that.
I'll look it up for you. You talk about it. I'll look it up for you.
Okay, well, Kevin Fiala started off the scoring with his 28th on the power play, assisted by the captain, Anze Kopitar, with his 43rd assist, and Adrian Kempe with his 45th assist. What's really weird, guys, think about this. Kempe was a goal scorer, and he leads the team in assists, I think, this year. Or he's second to Fiala. I think he actually leads the team in assists. And it's been impressive how he's changed his game. Second goal was by Victor Arvidsson. We definitely needed him back. It was his 3rd, assisted by Philip Deneau with his 27th assist, and Trevor Moore with his 25th assist. And then Akil Thomas, the rookie, with his 3rd goal, assisted by Matt Roy, and that was his 20th. And that was Thomas's 3rd goal. And then Arvidsson got his 4th goal on I don't know if anybody watched that empty netter. That was like 3/4 of the rink into the net, assisted by Kopitar, his 44th, and Drew Daddy with his 34th. Talbot faced 23 shots and had 22 saves. And one thing that was better this time than the last time we played Calgary, we had face-off win percentage of 51%. We were 1 for 4 on the power play also. We finally played Calgary. I think we split with them, and we won both games at home, and they won both games at home, if I'm not mistaken. And I got to tell you, I didn't think we played good either time in Calgary. So that was the LA Kings versus the Calgary.
4-1.
It was 4-1, yeah, not 4. I was thinking, why 4? It was 4-2, but yeah,
you guys
22 saves and 23 shots. He had to have 1 goal against them.
And you guys did split the series with them. 2-2.
Yeah, I think it was both home teams won both games.
It doesn't say here, but I'll take your word for it. All right, then we're going to go to the Ducks versus Calgary game. So game number 80 for the Anaheim Ducks this season, played at home versus the Calgary Flames. All right. And I actually didn't write mine on my notes, the score of this one. So I guess we both had a little mess up. But all I can say is, welcome to the show, Sam Colangelo. That's all I'm going to say. So on this game, I predicted a 4-3 loss. And unfortunately, the Ducks lost 6-3. It was not a very good game up until that 3rd period, man. That 3rd period is just, the Ducks came alive. They scored 3 goals within 5 minutes. Sam Colangelo scoring his first NHL goal in his first NHL game. I mean, It's just the puck just happened to squeeze by the Flames goalie, and as they said in the Mighty Ducks D3, he picked up the trash. So that's what he did. It was a trashy goal, but hey, all it sees on the stat card is one goal. So welcome to the NHL, Sam Colangelo. And he played well. I thought he played well. He had, with his first NHL goal, he had an assist from Lundestrom and Gudis. That was Lundstrom's 6th assist of the year and Gudis' 12th assist of the year. Can you believe it that Sam's goal is the 7th Duck this season to score their first NHL goal just this year alone? That's crazy.
You might have a Nath coming up.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that later.
About that later.
We'll talk about that later. But Gibson didn't have one of his best games. You could tell he was a little rusty. It was his first game back. I want to say within like a week and a half. He missed the last 3 games with I believe it was an upper body injury. But he had 21 saves on 27 shots. All I can say is that first goal that the Flames scored was just horrible and sloppy, guys. We had a power play, and we're doing what I freaking told you guys to stop doing. They're playing with the puck in the defensive zone and just a turnover. And sure enough, Andrew Mangiapane was just wide open for a tip-in. This should not happen on the power play at all. And of course, it was the veteran line, who I do not like seeing out there on the power play first.
So they let a guy score who sounds like an Italian restaurant. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You know, your mom's part Italian. You better watch what you say about those Italian
I did
people.
not know that. I'm sorry. I never would have guessed that. But like I said, the Ducks were down 4-0 after 2 periods. And it literally looked like they were done. They weren't playing well. They were getting outshot and everything. It wasn't looking good, guys. It wasn't looking good at all. But sure enough, almost 3 minutes into the 3rd period, that's when Sam Colangelo came up big to start the scoring. And about 4 minutes later, Frank Vetrano scores his 34th of the year with assist from Zegras and Lacombe. And that was Zegras' 8th assist of the year and Lacombe's 14th assist of the year. But the scoring didn't stop there. I believe it was 42 seconds later, Olin Zellweger scored his 2nd of the game with assist from Fowler and Terry. Fowler that was his 32nd assist of the year and Terry's 34th assist of the year. But all I could tell you, that Vetrano goal, it wouldn't have. The goal was great, but it was the pass that made the goal even better. Zegras was moving from behind the net, and as soon as he saw the goalie start looking towards the other side, Zegras threw it behind his back right to Vetrano, and Vetrano just had nothing but net, and it was beautiful. So, unfortunately, the rally stopped pretty quick right after that, guys. Just more penalty issues, and Andrei Kuzmenko just loves to score against the Ducks. I believe that's like his 2nd or 3rd career hat trick against the Ducks. And, of course, another 2 power play goals given up, So we just love giving away games, don't we? But, all right, well, that's going to be it for the Calgary games for our teams. Now we're going to go to the first game of the Freeway Faceoff. You want to start or you want me to start?
I'll start because you have a happy ending. I don't have a happy ending.
I like that idea.
Yeah. I predicted a 5-2 victory, and we sucked. We didn't get a goal, but what did we get a goal from? We got from a rookie, Akil Thomas' 2nd, assisted by Lewis' 7th, and Gavrikov is 17th. Talbot, he didn't play horrible. He had 24 saves on 27 shots. And we dominated the faceoff circle, 73%. But we still got outplayed. We got played by these little things that quack. They were quacking all around us.
Hey, watch it.
They were quacking to the left, quacking to the right. Score a goal here, score a goal there. I was like, I'm watching the game going like, who's in the playoffs? It certainly doesn't look like us. I mean, it was a disappointing game. And the interesting thing about it is the thing I've been saying almost through every podcast that's wrong with the Kings is consistency. Sometimes I think they can beat anybody in the NHL when they have their playing their A game, but when they're playing this other game, I think mini hockey could beat them sometimes. I mean, they did not play well. They did not. Ducks played well. I'll give them that. They took advantage of everything. I mean, if we really want to see the stars of the game, we'll let Cody talk. So why don't you go ahead and take over on game one of the Faceoff series?
Game one of the Faceoff for this week. All right, well, this was game 79 for the Ducks. I predicted a 2-1 loss, and we turned around and made it a 3-1 win. Dostwal still comes up big with 36 saves on 37 shots. Vetrano with his 33rd goal of the season with assists from Gudis and Strome. Gudis' 11th assist and Strome's 27th assist. And Killorn technically had 2 goals in this game, but one of them got called back due to offside. But I didn't see the replay, but I heard that it was offside. So I just think it's funny how like a minute after they overturned the goal and everything, boom, he scores again with his 18th goal of the year with assists from Fowler and Strome. So this is Strome's second point of the night. Fowler's 31st assist of the year and Strome's 28th assist of the year. And then Trevor Zegras to finish the Kings off with his 5th goal of the year unassisted on a beautiful I hate to steal someone else's term, but I just really liked it from the late arrivals. He called it a steal and snipe.
Yeah.
Or he stole the puck from Spence, just took it, right it up, and then sniped it above Talbot. That was great.
I heard Spence is still looking for his wallet.
So, but I would say that was definitely the best full 60-minute game the Ducks have played all year. I would say, even though we got completely outshot, but I feel like we played well for those 60 minutes. A lot better than I know for at least the last, I want to say 2 months at least. But 27% in the face-off circle, guys. God, that's just bad. But we'll end on a little positive note on this one. The Ducks didn't give up a power play goal this game, guys. Yay! That was our first time. I want to say we didn't give up a power play goal since I think Dostal got a shutout. So tells you how long ago that was. All right, and now we're gonna move on to game 81 for the Ducks, and I believe it was game 80 for the Kings. You want me to start with this one?
Sure. Since I have the better news.
Yeah, you have the better news. So I didn't really have time to come up with the notes for this game because I was actually at the game last night. So me and my buddy Jeremy, we were at the game. Yeah, we were like dead center. It was, but we were all like pretty high up. But it was like perfect view. You can see everything going on. The Ducks played the Chrome Domes. The LA Kings last night. I do like those jerseys. I just don't like the chrome helmets, but I like the jersey. I like the rest of the look for the Kings.
I don't like the chrome helmets either. So yeah, even that's my team. It's not my favorite look.
Yeah, but like I would say this game was almost almost the opposite of the last game. I feel like the Kings definitely dominated more this game than the Ducks did. And it's funny because when I looked at the shots on goal, if someone would have told me the Ducks were out shooting the Kings, I would have been like, "You're joking, right? Come on." And there were so many times where, man, we have an easy like shot right there in the slot, and we're giving up a good chance. Like you're in a prime shooting area, shoot the puck. They did, and the Ducks kept doing that last night. I had some Kings fans just laughing because I was like, shoot, and like they're wide, and then they finally shoot, and they get a couple rebounds, and the Kings players were getting tired, and then they took a penalty. I'm like, see what happens when you actually shoot the puck? Wow, it's amazing what happens when you shoot the puck, guys. You can, make the goalie tired. You can tire out the other team. Or you can score a goal. I mean, it's not that hard.
Who'd have thunk?
Yeah, and here's what I've noticed the last few games for the Ducks. They love to try to go for whatever the goalie's weakness is. So, I can't remember who it was, but they kept going high blocker, and you could just tell anytime they had a shot, they were going high blocker. But whenever they were doing that, they were missing it way off. And and I feel like that's also why the Ducks, their shots on goal have been really they haven't had as many shots on goals because they're just missing completely because they keep trying to go for whoever is on their weakness. I'm like, how about you just get it on net and then see what happens? You never know. If you get like that foot and a half off the ground right above the goalie's pads, that's like the prime area you want to go. Or hit it in the pads and get a rebound goal. But in the Ducks, and my buddy Jeremy was even telling me, like, you could tell, like, when the Ducks shoot, nobody follows their shot. No one's going to the dirty areas to clean up the mess. Though I would say there's like two players on the Ducks that really do that, and it's Vetrano and Killorn. Nobody else really does it. So I feel like that's
why they score goals, Cody.
Yeah, but I know, but nobody else does that, and nobody's blocking the goalies either. Even though if the Ducks finally they get a shot, it's the goalie can see it, no problem, because there's no one blocking his view.
Yeah, you got to have the man in front of the net. Yeah,
exactly. But like other than that, face-off percentage was a little bit better this game, but not much better. We had 29 shots on goal. We had a 31.7% face-off percentage. That we can't be doing that, guys.
You had what?
And again, what's that?
What was your save? What was the face-off percentage?
Yeah, 31.7.
Okay, 32.
Oh, whatever. I'm just going off of what it says on NHL.com. Okay.
They round it up usually.
Yeah. Whatever. 32%. Again, with the power play, like, I get you want to start the veteran line, but is Fowler really going to be your future power play quarterback? No, he's not. It's going to be Zellweger. Why not play them more? And I'm sorry, Terry, Carlson, and Zegras are going to be more offensively dangerous than Strome, Vetrano, and Killorn. And if you have even in Zellweger, I mean, I don't care. Move Killorn to that power play unit because he could be that good front guy right there, or Vetrano, which that cause chaos right in front of the goalie. Be that in the slot area or right in front of do that. But no, we keep wanting to play that veteran line, and it makes no sense to me. Like I said, we had we gave up 4 power play chances. And we gave up 1 penalty, 1 man advantage goal. But, I mean, it's better than what we normally do. But like I said, it was a great game. It was a Mexican Heritage Night. They had mariachi bands playing and everything. Man, they had this, 10-year-old kid. You could tell, he hasn't matured yet. And that kid had some pipes on him. I was like, man, this kid can sing. So, and if I were you guys, don't ever go to the Wetzel Pretzels on the 300th level at Staples Center. I waited in line for like 20 minutes and moved like 5 feet just to find out that later on in that period that they were dropping Wetzel Pretzels bags on parachutes down below. So that's why it took me forever to even get any food, and I missed like half the second period, and I wasn't happy. So, but that's it for the Ducks. Or actually, I forgot to mention who scored. Oof! But and I loved it because at the game when Zegras scored his 6th of the year, as soon as everyone found out it was Zegras, it was just nothing but boos all around. Which I fully expect, but Zellweger and Fowler had the assist on that. That was Zellweger's 7th assist of the season and Fowler's 33rd assist of the year. So, but a nice little snapshot from Zegras himself. So that's it for the Ducks news for that game. Let's go to your Kings side.
Wow. Much better than the first game of the week. We were without the captain, though. He was a healthy scratch. So,
yeah, I saw that. I noticed that.
But we only lost 5% on our face-off percentage from the other game that we got our butts kicked at. So, so the other guys picked it up. So the scoring started off with P.L. Dubois, his 16th on the power play.
Shocker.
Am I hearing boos, fans, or do I get a yay? Maybe he's going to get it now.
Boo.
So, yeah, there you go. Assisted by Arvidsson his 8th and Kempe his 46th. Then Roy comes in with his 5th goal of the season, assisted by Lizotte his 8th, and Akil Thomas his 1st NHL assist. So number 1 for Akil Thomas. He's got 3 goals and assists, guys. I've been impressed with Akil. And the poor guy, if you ever look at his history, it's been injury after injury for the last 5 years. So it's awesome to see that his talent is being able to be showcased in the NHL, at least for a little while. Hopefully he might be, who knows, on the roster regular next season. Because there's going to be change. We all know it. Then the 3rd goal, Kevin Fiala with his 29th, assisted by Trevor Lewis, his 8th, and Drew Doughty, his 35th. And Drew Doughty, I think he has over 50 points again, which is good for a defenseman. And everybody said he was getting long on the tooth, and I guess he decided to make him all take a look and say he could still play the game. So Doughty's had a great season. But the star of the game, number one in your hearts, a little steal from the replacements, big save, Dave Rittich, 28 saves, and the first star of the game. Honestly, the Ducks could have scored 3 or 4 more goals. They had very good chances. Very good chances. But big save, Dave. And you think about it, he spent quite a while in the AHL earlier this season, and he's came in, and I think he's earned his money and then some for what he's done. And he's been incredible. Our face-off percentage was 68%, only 5% off the game we got our butts kicked in. Our power play was 1 for 4. I'll take that. And our PK was 2 for 2. So that's the games of the week. So the face-off series went 1-1 this week.
Yeah, 1-1.
All right, on to Kings game predictions for this week. On Monday, game 81 against the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota, usually a tough game for us, but they've been not playing up to par. I don't think they even have a chance for the playoffs. I haven't even looked at that here lately. But I'm going to predict even though we may set some players. I mean, I think Kempe might set a game. Kopitar might set another game. Maybe Doughty. I still think we're going to win 5-2 against Minnesota on Monday in game 81. Then we wait till last day of the season, regular season, game 82. We're going to play the Chicago Bedards. Even if we do set players, I still think we're going to beat them 6-2. So that's my predictions. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to stay with it. Hopefully, I'm going to come out 2-0 this next week. I'm tired of losing. I lose at least one game every week. So we're going to go on to Duck predictions with the Quack Boy, Cody.
Hey. All right. Well, the Ducks only have one game left. They're going to play game number 82 on Thursday on April 18th in Vegas. Dun, dun, dun. Believe it or not, if the Ducks win this game, this will be the first time that the Ducks have won the season series against the Knights. And guess what I'm predicting? I'm predicting a 4-3 win so we can get that series win over the Vegas Golden Cheaters. Knights, sorry.
Vicky, that was not me.
Mm-hmm.
My wife scolded me for calling them the cheaters.
He told me to do it, Mom.
Wasn't me.
He told me to do it.
I did not.
I could just hear Mom, he's your son.
Yeah, I could hear that too. And I go, and I'm damn proud of him.
So I want the Ducks to finish the season off with a win. Last year, we finished the season with a 13-game losing streak, but I was okay with that because that helped us get the best odds for that. But no matter where, if we win or lose, the Ducks are locked in on the third worst odds or the third best odds for the number one pick. So no matter if we win or lose, it's not going to hurt us. So why not go out with a W? And hopefully we're going to see a new Ducks player playing, which I think he is, but we'll get to that when we talk about the Ducks news later. But I'm predicting a 4-3 win, and I'm predicting that new player is probably going to score.
Mm.
Yeah, that's me my bold take for that. But so
and something we talked about earlier in the season, somebody who was on LTIR may be playing. So the aforementioned name that Cody called Las Vegas is going to happen again. Yeah. Just like last year when he played in the first round of the playoffs when he was expected to be gone all season. Well, he's gone a lot of the season.
Yeah.
But there's no salary cap in the playoffs, so.
That's true. So
I guess you get away with it until they do something different. We can move. We'll move on from that.
We'll move on. All right, and we will be back right after this message. Hey, Ducks and Kings fans, step into the spotlight and make your prom night unforgettable with our exclusive prom night photo shoot package. For just $150, immerse yourself in the beauty of the great outdoors as our professional photographer captures your radiant glow against nature's backdrop. Prefer an indoor setting? No worries. At $300, experience a studio session where every click of the camera amplifies your elegance and style. Each 45-minute session guarantees you 10 high-quality images, a timeless memento of a night filled with laughter, dance, and unforgettable memories. But wait, there's more. We also specialize in senior photos, graduation photos, and quinceañeras. Because every milestone is a story waiting to be told. So why wait? Book now and let us narrate your journey through our lenses. Contact us at 951-719-6377 or at Christina122193@gmail.com or go follow us on Instagram at Xtina's Photo on Instagram. That's XTINAS Photo for a glimpse into how we turn every shot into a masterpiece. All right, guys, and now we're back with the playoff standings recap. It's getting pretty close, guys. We already have a lot of people already clinched, but there's only 2 spots available in the Eastern Conference. But until we get to that part, in the Atlantic, the Boston Bruins have 80 games played with 109 points as the number 1 in the Atlantic. The Panthers are right behind them with 108 points, but they've already played 1 more game than Boston. So they have 108 points, and then the Toronto Maple Leafs are in the 3rd spot with 102 points with 80 games played. So I think no matter what, the Leafs are going to be in the 3rd spot.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, but you never know what's going to happen with in that 1st and 2nd one. You never know. Boston can lose their last 2 and Florida wins their last 1. You never know. So
it's tight. That's what's fun about it. It's fun that it's that competitive.
And then in the Metro, you got the New York Rangers with 112 points with 81 games played. It looks like they're actually never mind. Carolina's right behind them with 111 points with also 81 games played. So if the Rangers win or get an overtime loss, I believe they're going to get the President's Trophy, as long as Boston doesn't win their last 2, or Carolina. If Carolina wins their last 1, I still think they would, because they have more wins. But we'll move on from that. So far, right now, in the 3rd spot in the Metro, it's the New York Islanders with 90 points with 80 games played. And they haven't clinched yet. All the other teams have clinched except for the Islanders so far. And in the wild card 1 spot, you got the Tampa Bay Lightning with 96 points with 80 games played, and they've already clinched a playoff spot too. So now this is where the fun begins. It looks like the Islanders, like I said, they're probably the prime favorite to win that 3rd spot in the Metro, but you still never know. Right now in the wild card 2 spot, you got the Washington Capitals with 87 points with 80 games played. And they're at minus 40 goal differential. That's just crazy.
That is crazy. 40. Wow.
Yeah. And then, like I said, it's literally what a 4-legged race in this for that last spot. You got the Capitals, Red Wings, Flyers, and Penguins all within a point of each other. The Red Wings also have 87 points with 80 games played. The Flyers have 87 points with 81 games played. And the Pittsburgh Penguins have come back, and they're looking like they could be close with 86 points with 80 games played. So if you never know what can happen. I don't know if any of these teams are playing against each other, but we're going to have some interesting games coming up in this last week.
Absolutely.
I'm curious on who's playing this week.
Well, you could look that up while I do the West.
That's true. I could. So I'll let you get to the West, and I'll let you know who's playing who this week for the East.
Perfect. So we go to the Central, and I think Dallas has clinched it. They're going to win the Central. I mean, Winnipeg has 2 games left. They can only get 4 points, and that's 110. Dallas has already got 111, so they're going to be the number 1 seed from the Central.
It looks like they could be the number 1 in the West.
Well, they are actually number 1 in the West also, but
not officially.
Well, no, that could change, but they are currently.
Yes, they are currently.
But then you have Winnipeg, who's all of a sudden got hot again after that 6-game losing streak. They've won 6 in a row, and they have 106 points and 2 games to play. Dallas has 111 points with 1 game to play. Colorado has 105 points with 1 game to play. So second and third could make a switch. I don't, and I think in the Central, that's where, those are solid. There isn't anybody that's going to come up and take third in the Central. Then we go to the Pacific, and Vancouver's at 107 points with 2 games to play. And then Edmonton's at 102 points with 3 games to play. So if Vancouver would lose 2 games and Edmonton win 3 games, they could overtake them. Could. But
I think for the interest of the Kings, I think that's what you guys want.
I think Vancouver's easier for us to play than Edmonton is. I would agree with that. But Vancouver beat Edmonton yesterday, I believe. They were without McDavid, though, of course. So who knows what's going to happen the 3 games with McDavid. So I don't think it's anything serious. I think it doesn't mean he won't make the playoffs or anything like that. And then right now, so you have that 107 with 2 games to play for Vancouver, 102 points with Edmonton with 3 games to play. The Kings are at 97 with 2 games to play. Now we have Vegas in the Pacific, 96 points with 2 games to play. So third place, it's a crapshoot. Who's going to play better? Who's going to, the Kings, if they take 3 of 4, even if Vegas takes 4 for 4, they're tied. I don't know what the tiebreaker is, though.
It's regulation wins.
Ooh, and that's up for grabs because they're at 44 and 43. So we'll see what happens with that. I'm confident. I predicted we're going to have 101 points by the end of the week. And I know Vegas is losing to the Ducks, so we've clinched third. Thank you, Cody.
You're welcome. Let's hope we're 3 for 3 this week.
Nobody can catch Nashville, so they'll be a wild card team. Now it's still possible that if Vegas were to overtake the Kings or Vegas.
Vegas could overtake Nashville.
Yeah, because Nashville would have to lose and Vegas go 2-0, and they would overtake them. Or the Kings, if Nashville lost, I think Nashville would still have that number 1 seed if it was the Kings. And the last thing the Kings want to do is play Dallas. Dallas is the feared team because them and Edmonton.
It seems like you're either going to play Dallas or Edmonton.
I would think the 2 worst teams we could possibly play. But you know what? 1 team out of 32 teams gets to be Stanley Cup champion. Yeah. It's not an easy thing to do. If you can't go through the best to get there, then obviously that's not your year. We proved by going through all the tough teams in 2012 because how we got to the playoffs was a miracle. And then we dominated the playoffs. I mean, I don't think that we're that type of team this year. That team was very defensively sound. And after watching the game last night, the Ducks were getting a lot of great shots. That's not good defense. Yeah, of course, one of our best defenders.
That's just great offense. No, I'm just kidding.
It was that too. Don't get me wrong, because you don't make the NHL unless you're superstars, anyways. Yeah, you're talking the best of the best. I can remember how good a basketball player I was, and I was all league in high school, and then I went. I had a partial scholarship offer to Occidental, but my dad didn't have enough money to pay the other half. So I went to junior college, tried out for the team. Of course, I got cut, but they won the state championship. So I didn't feel that bad about it. But I can remember playing Summer League, and I saw how just the step up from high school to JC, how much incredibly better the players were. And then you go to college, and then you go to the pro. Same thing with hockey. You go through the minor league system, the AHL, NHL. Every time it's a much better thing. So, it's not easy. So everybody who's in the NHL can play hockey. Mm-hmm. So even the Bedards, the Ducks, and Columbus Sharks, all those teams, those guys can play. Yeah. They're just not quite as talented overall as the other teams are, but that changes with that draft. Look at Edmonton after being bad for a long time. I mean, how many number one picks? McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins.
Draisaitl he was a number 2 or 3 pick.
Okay, you're in the top 5, you're getting a good player most of the time. So, anyways, so basically everybody else is out. So the 5 teams that are in the playoffs are in the playoffs. It's a matter of who's going to be third in the Pacific and where the wild cards match up, and that can mishmash with whoever's hot and whoever plays well the last game or two. So we'll find out by Thursday what's happening. So that's the playoffs for this time.
So real quick with those Eastern Conference teams on who they're playing this week. So on Monday, the Red Wings play the Canadiens, Islanders play the Devils, Penguins play the Predators, and the Capitals play the Bruins. So all 4 teams are playing Monday. And then Tuesday, Red Wings, they play back-to-back? Okay. On Tuesday, the Red Wings play the Canadiens again, and then the Capitals play the Flyers. And then Wednesday, which I think this might be like the game of the week probably, just for standings-wise, is Penguins and Islanders. And then Thursday, I believe no one from those teams play. They're all Western Conference teams. So there are a couple matchups which could determine who's making and who's not. So, yeah.
Exciting.
Yep. All right. Let's move on to Ducks news. So, from reports are saying that Zegras will be playing in the 2024 IIHF World Championships over the summer, which I think would be a good thing. Let him represent USA again. Let him get some more playing time. And with other players, I think that might do some good for him. Because he missed a lot of time this year, so I might as well let him play a little bit. So I believe he is playing, and they're saying someone else might be playing, but they haven't announced who yet. And then Kaloran got his 500th career point last week, and I forgot to mention that. So congrats to Kaloran on reaching the half century mark. So congrats on that.
Half century mark?
Is it 1,000?
Century's 100, right? Dude.
Oh, okay, my bad. All right, congrats on your 500th then. And then I'm gonna go.
Two.
Take 2.
Take 2.
I'm gonna skip my third one because I want to save that one for last. So Sam Colangelo, obviously I told you, made his NHL debut against the Calgary Flames, but apparently he was supposed to have number 66, and I guess there was like a big outroar about him wearing the number 66, and you know why, right?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
No.
Who famously played that wore 66?
I'm drawing a blank. I know it was somebody.
Mario Lemieux. So apparently, a lot of people are mad that he's going to wear that because they think he was number 66.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. And they're saying that like he shouldn't be able to wear it as a rookie, and because they're saying like, I'm like, one, it's not retired. Two, like he's wearing it because he probably honors the player and everything. So yeah, like there was just a big uproar about that, and so he switched his number from 66 to 64. So, but like I said, congrats on making it to the NHL and scoring your first goal in your first game. So congrats, Sam. And then the news that just came out today, Cutter Gauthier signed his 3-year ELC contract, and he will make his NHL debut on Thursday against Vegas. And that's
Patrick.
That was my hot take, where he's gonna also score in his NHL debut to make it the 8th Duck this year to score his first goal this year. And I want him to score against Vegas, go out on top. But I'm sorry about Cutter for his Boston College lost to Denver University yesterday in the NCAA Frozen Four championship. So Denver won 2-0 in that game. So
the Kings beat you on that one too.
Oh, you guys had a player from Denver?
Jared Wright, the guy that scored the first goal.
Oh, he did score the first goal. Yeah, I remember that. I was listening to the game.
We got some prospects too, bro.
All right, so with Sam Colangelo making his debut this week, let's just go over a little bit of his way of making it to the NHL this season. So the first 3 NCAA seasons, he played at Northern Eastern. Then he transferred this year to Western Michigan, where in 38 games, he had 24 goals and 13 assists for 43 points. Then he signed an PTO to play with the San Diego Gulls, and there he played 4 games, and he had 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points. So he averaged at least a point a game in the AHL. And then, of course, they called him up, and so far he's played with the Ducks, and I believe he signed a 2-year entry-level contract. And he's played in 2 games with 1 goal. So, all right, and now we're going to talk about our newest Duck prospect, Cutter Gauthier. He's played 2 years with Boston College. This year, he's played in 41 games, and he had 38 goals and 27 assists for a total of 65 points. And he did play in the World Juniors, where he posted 12 points in 7 games, where he had 2 goals and 10 assists. So, and like I said, he's going to make his NHL debut on Thursday. So, Ducks fans, look out for that game, because we have a new kid on the block. It's going to be fun to see. And now we're going to go into, and I wanted to save the best news for last. Not my favorite bit of news, but a well-deserved. Jakob Silfverberg has announced that he's going to retire from the NHL after this season. So, and I always loved just watching Silfverberg play. And he was always a great two-way player for the Ducks. And it was someone that you can just always rely on defensively for your team. And I believe they talked about, I want to say on 32 Thoughts, saying when the Ducks had Kessler, Cogliano, and Silfverberg on that deadly line, they're saying like, wow, the Ducks literally had 3 Selke candidates all on one line. That's crazy. So, yeah.
He had a great career.
Yes, he did.
I respect him as a player.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been fun to watch. I always loved seeing his shootout goals, because when he first came to the Ducks, he was great in the shootouts. He was pretty much just almost money on the shootouts. But he announced that he's going to go back to Sweden and play with his whole hometown team back there. I'm trying to pull up his stats right now, but my internet is being really mean to me tonight. Let's see. All right. So far, and I'm gonna just count the game for Thursday. So in his career, he's played 820 games, 168 goals, 205 assists so far, with 373 points, and he has a career +5 average. Career +5. So Silfverberg got drafted by the Ottawa Senators in I believe it was in 2012, 2013. It doesn't exactly say, but he was part of the Bobby Ryan trade, and I would say the Ducks won that trade, and I would say Silfverberg was probably the main reason why we won that trade. So I just want to say thank you very much, Silfverberg. You've given me a lot of great memories. And I hope you have you and your family well to go to Sweden, and I'm gonna do a little Ducks chant. So ooh ah Silfverberg, ooh ah.
Oh yeah, I guess we're going on to Kings news. Well, if you didn't know it, Kings clinched a playoff spot. And you know what? I hope we get Edmonton. I hope we kick their butt this time. If you're going to go through the best. I'm okay with it.
Amen.
If we don't, well, we'll just make some changes next year and beat them next year too. So, go Kings, go on the playoffs. Kopitar scratched versus the Ducks. He didn't play.
I was shocked about that.
The second game.
Yeah.
We lost 5% of the faceoff because he's like top 4 or 5 in the NHL. And
yeah,
Grundstrom could be ready for the playoffs, and he's playing for the Reign. Actually, I think he played earlier today. I did not look up his stats there. But it's obviously to get him in shape to be ready for the playoffs. And another great Reign thing, you all have heard this. I mean, we lost Sammy Fagemo to Nashville because they wanted to keep Jad. I didn't agree with that. I would have kept Sammy. But Sammy went to Nashville, then they waived him. We took him back. And he's gone down to the AHL, and he broke the Reign goal record with 41 in a season, and it's an overtime winner. There's some promise down there. You got Fagemo. You've got Turcotte's down there playing right now with them going into the playoffs. And you have some, I think Portillo, probably not next year, but the year after that, he should be ready. So we've got some promise down there, and we got some draft picks to pick this year. So that's the Kings news for this week. We're going to move on to league news, and we've got some really, I'd say, juicy news on league news.
I'm going to skip the first one, and we're going to go straight to the second one because the first and third one kind of go together. So Jack Hughes is going to be out for the rest of the season because of a shoulder surgery. So I think that was probably the right thing, because they're not going to make the playoffs, and it'll give him plenty of time for him to take care of the shoulder and rehab everything over the summer. So I would say that's a good move on him to do. And then the biggest news of all, guys, the news about the Coyotes is finally over. Ryan Smith has purchased the Arizona Coyotes, and he's moving them to Utah.
Utah.
So I want you guys to tell us, what should their new name be? Speaking of that, Ryan Smith wants to know. So if you want, tell us and tell Ryan Smith, because he posted a tweet asking for people to send in team names for the new Utah team. I know they're going to be, I think, the Salt Lake City blank. So
great name, Cody.
Yeah, great. Well, I mean, we've heard worse names in professionals. I mean, I'd rather be called the Salt Lake City Blanks than the Washington football team, or what the Oakland A's are going to be the next 2 or 3 years. Just the A's or the Athletics. That's it. So, tell us, guys, what should their names be? I've seen a couple online already saying the Yetis.
Yetis.
And there was one that's more. I don't know. It's not. I would say it's just more religious. So I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but it's funny. Let's just say, if you think about Utah and everything, you'll get it. So all I know is, like, a lot of the Coyotes players, they weren't happy about having to move to Utah and everything, because a lot of them wanted to stay in Arizona because, I mean, I know the no sales tax or no income tax they have there. You know, they have family. That's where their houses are. Now they got to uproot everyone. You know, all the people that worked for the Coyotes personally now may or may not have a job. But it's for sure happening that the Coyotes are now going to be going to Utah, and they have to come up with a new name because the owners of the Coyotes, I guess the NHL is giving them 5 years to finish up with their whole arena situation. And once they have that all settled, then they can bring back and have the Arizona Coyotes again. So when Ryan Smith purchased the team, he didn't purchase the rights for the Coyotes or anything like that. So we could still get an Arizona Coyotes team back. It's just going to be a whole new expansion team. So
sort of like Baltimore when the Colts moved to Indianapolis. And then you got the Ravens.
The Ravens. Yeah. Pretty much exactly like that. So the wait is finally over.
All right.
On that situation. So, what do you think about that whole situation, Dad?
Well, it makes sense because they had a 5,000 seat arena that they played in. The prices had to be exorbitant. Right? I mean, most of the arenas are somewhere, 14,000 to up to 20,000, and they only have 5,000 seats. I mean, I guess you got great seats no matter where you sit, but what could the cost be there? And they couldn't get anywhere to get a spot where it would make sense to put an arena because most of the affordable places were so far away, nobody would go to the games, or very few would go to the games. So I think it's a good move. And Ryan Smith, God, what? Yeah. Where did I hear him? Was that
the 32
thoughts? Oh my God. The guy is, you know what? He seems a refreshing type owner. Someone who's passionate, who loves sports. And he's not going to be like, I don't know, like the Oakland A's. You know, where.
So he already came out and said that he is willing to spend up to the cap this offseason so that the new team can start competing right away. And think about, if they spend up to the cap and all those draft picks come in, or they use those draft picks to bring in players,
they could be a dangerous.
They can be a dangerous team.
It could be a very fast rebuild there because they had a lot of picks.
Oh, yeah.
So
a lot of
they
picks.
did well with that. So
Yeah. So, all right. Now we got 2 questions this week, and they're both from my buddy James. All right. First question is, I believe they're both Ducks questions. So the first one is, how do you feel with the signing of Cutter Gauthier not only affects the salary cap, but the growth of the team? Also, with the signing, how does that affect the draft that the Ducks needed a center? What do they do with their picks? So the Cutter Gauthier is not going to really affect them salary cap wise because he's going to be on an ELC. So he's going to be making just under $1 million. So it's really not going to affect the Ducks in any way for salary cap because I believe we had like $8 or $9 million of or more of cap space left, and then since when the new season starts on July 1st, we're going to get an increase in salary cap. So I believe it's at 82.5. I believe it's going to 87.7?
Wasn't it 83?
Is it 83?
83.5, I think.
Okay, well, it's going to go up to 87.7. So every team's going to gain over $4 million in cap. Plus, the Ducks have 2 big contracts coming off with Silfverberg and Adam Henrique contract. So that's going to open up. That's
another, probably 8 or 9 million.
About I would say almost over 10 million just off of those 2 guys alone.
What does Henrique make?
So we're gonna have $15 million of salary cap. So the Ducks, the salary cap's not really going to get affected. But with the growth of the team and how does that affect the draft, I don't think it's really going to affect the draft as much since we already knew kind of since when the trade happened, Cutter's probably going to be playing wing. So he's going to be part of the top 6, but the Ducks still need another top 6 winger. He's not going to be I hope he's going to be, what he is supposed to be or more, but he's not going to be it doesn't hurt. It's not going to hurt us the way we're going to draft or do our free agency since we already know what we're getting since we got him earlier this year. So he's going to be part of the top 6, but we still need another top 6 winger. And I think for draft pick, if we win the draft, we're obviously taking Celebrini first overall if we win the lottery. So that's the extra forward we needed. But if they don't get that first overall pick, they might go with because I know the beginning of the draft is very defensive heavy. And I think they might go after and get a right-handed shot since they're really they don't have as many right-handed shot defensemen, and that's where the Ducks really lack is right-handed shots. And and what do they do with their picks? I still say they trade their second first-round pick they got from the Edmonton trade and go get someone with it. Like I said the last podcast, go get trade Vetrano and that first pick for Martin H's. Oh, and I actually do want to change my answer from last week. The one that Hey Lauren sent us about what would the first thing you would do if you woke up as the general manager. I would just fire Neil Brown as our assistant coach for the Ducks. I'm over him. Keep Fowler, or we don't I'll get rid of him. I'm just done with him. He's been poop all year. That's all I'm going to say.
You're talking about the coach, right? Not Fowler?
I'm talking about Neil Brown. He's an assistant coach. He's the one that does the special teams. And we all know how that's been for the Ducks this year.
Yeah.
So then the second question from James is, with such a mix of age on the Ducks, do they or should they continue the youth movement or surround the young guys with vets that can help rebuild the
rebuild move
along
fast.
Yeah, rebuild move along faster.
There you go.
Yeah, I can't talk.
Okay. Well,
I say it's going to be a little bit of both on that.
Yeah.
They already have the youth movement. Like the majority of our prospects are going to be playing or have already played. Like it's just like Cutter Gauthier is being the one that really hasn't played. But other than that, like all our really young, talented players are already playing for the Ducks. So now I think we already have that young core. You know, like for the forwards, we got Zegras, we got Terry, we got McTavish. We're going to have Cutter Gauthier and Carlson. And on the back end, we're going to have Zellweger, Minty, probably Tristan Luneau, and then maybe, you know, we're going to have Gudis back there. So I think it's, if anything, it's going to be more of the veteran presence that might help this team more. And I think that's what they're going to do with like the bottom six and maybe get like a bottom pairing defenseman to help teach the young defensemen to help them out. So I think it's more going to be more veteran heavy for trade wise or free agency wise. But if they do trade for someone, they might trade for someone that's going to be in that age gap for that window. So like someone that's going to be like between like 25 to 22 or something like that, somewhere that's going to be in that age gap. So, you know, what do you think?
I don't know. I don't know if I could throw in anything else in there. All I got to say is, you know, when you're building your team, it takes cooperation from other teams to make a trade work. And what you're going to do is what's best for your team. You know, sometimes they have to make a trade of a pretty good young guy and maybe a couple other young guys to get that really veteran presence they need. And I don't, you know, what's going to be available, who's going to be willing to trade with them, we don't know. But I'm a Kings fan first, but I'm not one of the Kings fans that hates the Ducks. I only hate them when we play them. I got to hate them twice this week, and I really hated them after the first game. Well, I really hated the Kings because they really just gave that game away. And honestly, in a way, the Ducks played even as good the second game, but big save Dave came through. But anyways, is it such a bad thing to let guys grow together? I mean, that's what Edmonton did for a while. Now they've had to plug pieces in, you know, because they kept not making. They didn't make the playoffs. And they had Draisaitl and they had McDavid and the two top scorers in the league. And then, you know, they finally started making the playoffs and they finally made that run and lost in the finals to Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Was it Vegas? Or no, Dallas? Didn't they make it? Or did they make it to the semis? Edmonton.
They lost in the semis when Colorado won.
So you look at, they plugged in pieces, and see, the Ducks could sit there and let these guys grow a little bit, and then when the time's right and the trade's right, they can make moves. It may not even be this next year. It could be a year or two away. We don't know. And in fact, any of you Kings fans that thinking, you know, God, if I was a GM, I would have done this. I go, who knows what's going to happen this next year? I mean, we got two big UFAs that, you know, salary cap is going to be hard to keep. I mean, even with that $4 million extra we get, you know, and then we have to pay Byfield. You know, we got some of these other younger guys that are going to want contracts within a year. You have to do what's best for the overall thing of the team. We'll see what happens. Magic does happen sometimes. So, Other than that, I think honestly, I think the Ducks are in the right direction myself.
I agree. Let Verbeek cook, guys. Let him cook.
Yeah, it's only not even his first full year, right?
Yeah, his first full year. Yeah,
and they were better, and they were better with a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So
And hopefully, now that I fired that Neil Brown coach, so our special teams should be a lot better now. Yeah.
Well, look what Hiller did for the Kings in the 2 years. I mean, our power play sucked last year.
I mean, 2 months?
2 years ago. No, I'm talking about when he came in as a special teams coach. I mean, our power play sucked, and we were, top 5 last year. Now, our PK sucked, but look at this year. He was still the special teams coach until February.
Yeah.
We're second best PK team. Coaching is a huge difference, guys. Coaching is a huge difference. But getting the right coach to come in and do everything. I really liked McClellan, but I think he couldn't figure out what to do difference to get him out of the funk of inconsistency. Hiller's done it a little bit, but we're still in the inconsistency, but not as bad. So, yeah. Other than that, guys, we're going to be going into the playoffs. I hope you Duck fans get on the Go Kings Go train. Oh, you want?
Do I really want to hear Kings fans say, "Oh, we won 3, you've only won 1"? I'm tired of hearing that.
Well, it's funny. You used to say that before the Kings ever won one to me, that you guys won one. So, I mean,
that's only because who was really bad at it was. I'm not going to name names.
Sure you are.
But I'm not going to name his name, but he'd always talk crap, and I would just be like, "Hey, who won it first?" It took us 15 years to win. But anyways, we'll move on. So, all right, guys. Well, that is all for this episode of Royally Quacked, the Timu Solani and Drew Doughty episode. Yeah, you like what I did there? Yeah. But we appreciate you guys for listening and supporting us. If you enjoyed the show, guys, please leave us a rating and a review on your favorite podcast platform. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Royally Quack to get the latest updates and interact with us.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear your feedback and more questions. How about a Kings question for next week? Somebody besides James. Get us a question. Nothing, no offense, James. Great questions. But how about a Kings question? And we love your...
I'll let them know.
And we love your suggestions. And let us know. Are you Team Royal or are you Team Quack? We want to know. Send us some messages. See us on Facebook, Instagram. Until next time, this is Cody and Gary signing off.
Go Ducks.
And go Kings go. See you next week.